the Oyster Fest today, and we've tagged onto the carnival alongside old vehicles, fairground rides, women in funny wigs singing songs, flying doctors. Genius!
On my feet.
This is bizarre, you know. I've never been in a parade before.
Me and Becky were sprinting down the side of the road trying to give as many people a leaflet.
So it makes a change for the first day ever. The team have had to do a lot more physical exercise than Dave has.
I've been to the Rio de Janeiro Carnival. This beats it hands down.
Summer street party. Summer street party. Too hot for sleep.
We are the amazing drumming monkeys. We hope you like our show. We hope you like our show. Unbeknownst to the rest of the Cornthwaite team, Simon actually likes this. Look at him loving it.
Oh yeah!
Get ready, we've got two teams of 4 boys and girls. We're about to enter the tug of war.
Ladies tug of war first. All ladies teams present to front of the committee team.
There's quite a few hefty women here. And I'm not fancying my chance to get this muscle.
Take the strain. Go! Now.
I'm really scared. I'm really scared. Look at the size of it.
People wanna come, then wanna leave there. I'm back in town to stay. Never again will I go away. Dancing with the
The
girls.
first one, we were like, these guys are good, like they're security. Yeah, and then the second one, I thought we could have taken it. We really went for it. We tried. That was all. Taking part counts.
Hard to sleep. Summer street party. Summer street party. Summer street party. Too hot for sleep. Summer street party. Summer street party. Summer street party. Too hot for sleep.
How do you feel, Si?
Too hot for sleep.
But every town since Seduna has seemed exactly the same. We are just coming into a little place called Kiankata. As usual, to the left, the road turns off and goes across the disused railway tracks. To the right, there are some pretty obscure general stores. And then, the coup de resistance for a place like this. The silos. And now the road veers off to the east. We turn a full 90 degrees.
That's the first turn in 2,000 kilometres.
We're heading for Kimber. And you know what the beauty is? I'm absolutely shattered. The roads are smoothish but not ideal. The wind's a pain in the ass. And Kimber is a mere 101 kilometres. It feels like whatever direction the road turns, the headwind swings around to meet us.
Dave was finding it very hard. We still had a horrible crosswind and a headwind. Even Kate couldn't keep up on the bike. It was really, really windy.
But it's so difficult, it's so dangerous. I'm like, Dan's looking in that mirror, I'm looking in this mirror, looking at you, having to look at the road in front. Eyes are like darting around. It's just impossible.
I feel lonely today. Not because the team aren't doing their job, they are. But just because I knew deep down that I was going to set myself this 100 plus target today.
Today Dave's done amazingly, he's come 100k. I kind of wish he hadn't, he's really pushed himself today. It's been headwinds, bad road, uphill.
We wanted to push on just so we get to a bit of civilization, a bit of internet, and hopefully get a nice place to stay.
Dave was extremely tired when he finished. He had bloodshot eyes, he was in real pain, he was just so tired. Another hard day on board for Oz.
Done 57 kilometres today, feeling absolutely whacked as I did yesterday after that 104 kilometre day, which absolutely took it out of me. We're now approaching a place that has childishly fascinated me ever since Phil Poucher found it on a map. Iron Knob.
Basically, we stopped with a family at their roadhouse. They put us up, gave us some motel rooms, gave us some food.
Jacob, who was 3, was absolutely fearless. On his first go on a Rolls Royce, he was more proficient at skateboarding than I was when I was 25. And then there was Michael, older lad, fancied a little race, but he did well. I only won, I think, because he fell off the board a couple of times. It's very, very nice to find that there are generous, just kind people in the middle of nowhere. It's always the people who have less to give that tend to give the most. And I think it surprised us all how many apparently poor people have just been overly generous to us this journey. We just made. For now it's just another lonely. It's not easy, this business.
We left Port Augusta with a bit of excitement, actually.
The interviews have picked up again. Now we're back in mobile coverage range. It's pretty good. We've done 4 or 5 since reaching Port Augusta, including the famous Triple J. We went national, baby. We'll be in Adelaide by the end of the week. Man, how time flies. I find every corner and side of my life bulging with this experience. You're disgusting. The roads have become smooth, and Rob, who we met yesterday, who is cycling around the world, is looking at Elsa and thinking, man, if anyone told me that they met a skateboarder who's cruising along at 25 plus kilometers an hour, I wouldn't believe it. This is absolutely ridiculous.
I haven't had a stronger tailwind in my life. At one stage, went 4 kilometers, averaging 40 kilometers an hour.
Getting faster.
We're just leaving the Clare wine region, having had an amazing night last night, a barbecue with Ken Vaughan and groups of people from the Lions Club.
I mean, to come into like a real Australian home and meet with friends and have a proper Aussie barbie, it's just been fantastic.
So now we're heading off. We're going to go to Clare Sign, get a shot there. Dave's going to skate through the main road of town. I'm going to be collecting as well at the same time.
We have a problem. On the road back from Clare to Port Wakefield, George disappears. Holly calls. The vehicle is stationary. It's not going anywhere, there's no sounds. Ultimately, these things have to be working in order for this project to continue. We are not going to be in Adelaide today. Horses don't break down. Vehicles break down.
I'm glad I don't have a vehicle.
Mrs. Fred's taken a bit of a shine to our dilemma here at the side of the road, and hopefully she'll turn out to be a lucky horse. Here we go. We're going. We're on the road for now. Kylie went to get a new windscreen fixed, and I just had a really tough afternoon battling into headwinds, knowing that I've still got 95k to go. I just want to get to Adelaide at this stage. Joe Robinson from the Sunday Mail came out to take photos of us as we entered Adelaide. Busy roads, it was just absolutely exhausting. We'd arranged a press call for 1:30 in the town hall right in the centre, so as it was coming up to that, I had to jump in the car. I hadn't got to the city centre on the board as I'd hoped to. We were walking back to Cheech to drive back from the centre, and Cheech wouldn't start. Both of our vehicles were broken down and I didn't make it to the centre. I decided to get up really early with a few of the team, and I just finished off the skate through town. When we decided to stop for a photo shoot, it was 100 metres down the road from where I'd finished skating, so I'd just taken my trainers off. Dan and Dim jumped up on the wall next to the sign, so I jumped up underneath the sign, holding onto the thing. Whoop! Ah! At the bottom of the signpost had a piece of metal sticking out of it like that, and my heel went straight down on top of it. Big flap of skin coming off, blood everywhere, just dripping on the road, and I'm thinking, I can't believe this has just happened. And I thought initially it had gone down to the bone, it hadn't quite, but Dan bandaged it up, and then we all rushed to hospital. 5 hours later, I leave the Royal Adelaide with 7 stitches and some crutches, on which I was ordered to stay for 10 days. Bugger.
A British man who's embarked on a cross-country skateboard trip has been grounded in Adelaide with a foot injury.
I was doing a photo shoot next to a signpost. All of us jumped up in the air and I landed on a piece of metal.
Everything was going so beautifully until disaster struck.
5 hours later, leaving the Royal Adelaide with 7 stitches on crutches for 2 weeks. I wasn't skateboarding, that's the infuriating thing. So, I've got a Grand Canyon in my foot now. It was just unbelievable. We got back to the sailing club and Kate was crying, and it was just one of those situations. Just couldn't believe the irony of it all. 2,800 kilometres down, barely a physical hitch along the way. And then I stepped on a bloody piece of metal in Adelaide and it was stuck.
It was just, the last thing we needed. Everything's gone a bit Pete-tong.
This throws a whole new spanner in the works. Yesterday it was the vehicles, and today it's Dave. Without vehicles we can't go anywhere. Without Dave on top form, we're not going anywhere.
I decided to call Deirdre Shahinger, who runs the other sailability in Adelaide, which is based at Adelaide Sailing Club. Deirdre came down with her RAA card and sort us out, get the vehicles towed away, and she'd take them to her local mechanics. Deirdre said we could stay at her place for as long as we needed, and I've been hobbling around ever since. But it turned out to be, a blessing in disguise. I talked to the team and everyone got out and got their fundraising caps on.
Today we're at Sailability on West Beach in Adelaide.
We raised over $1,000, which we gave to Sailability.
You ever want to through life?
That was the first time I've been anywhere where people were literally waiting with a handful of money.
Staring into space, and everything just seems to
We're currently getting ready to see the start of the race at Christmas.
With Mag Bike!
Chris has cerebral palsy and has been through kind of the whole sailability thing, and is now fighting his way towards the Paralympics in Kuala Lumpur. And
The boy's a legend.
It's an absolutely amazing experience seeing Chris out on the water, seeing him work his magic and seeing him sail. I mean, it's one thing talking about it, but seeing him actually is just a truly fantastic experience.
Today we've come to Chris's house to have a barbie and just chill out in his beautiful garden. And yeah, spend some time with him because he's been awesome, you know. When times got hard, Chris came and cheered us up.
He's got lots of trophies, which means that he must be an awesome sailor.
He's had a lot of challenges to face, but he's built his own place. He's a very successful sportsman. And he's the most down-to-earth guy I know. He's absolutely phenomenal. He's a hoot. And not forget this, boys.
I love him. Cheers, Chris, man. Cheers,
It's been 12 days since I did my footing, and the stitches are out now. Don't be alarmed. All the red stuff, that's just iodine, but it's kind of cut all the way around there where the metal went in. So just a few hours more rest, one more night in a lovely bed. A huge thank you to Deirdre and Bob and Chris Reed, and I've enjoyed Adelaide, apart from the first couple of days. They sucked. Looking forward to getting back on the road. It all happens for a reason, doesn't it? Let's hope it works to our advantage.
October the 28th, Saturday 2006. We're back on the road again. Hooray!
This is steep. I'm not very fit anymore. Oh, I'm so tired I can't even speak.
Dave struggling a bit with fitness today, but that's because he hasn't been on the board for 2 weeks. The longest time ever, apparently.
We'll be probably going for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm absolutely panted. Rumour has it that pretty soon after Stirling the roads start to flatten out. And hopefully we'll have an easy run to Strathalby.
Brother, brother, we'll hold you down. We'll show you up, so walk before you run. 'Cause all the things you think you know, you need to be weighed up before you put them on.
Dave's foot is still a bit of a concern to us all, I think.
This morning he was limping quite heavily because I think there's quite a lot of bruising around the actual area.
The dreaded blisters have come back. He's having a few issues with this infamous cut on his left foot.
The wound in my heel has been padded up, which subsequently means that the left side of that foot is taking all of the pressure when I'm standing on the board. And I think hopefully a few days down the line the heel will have healed sufficiently so I can skate without pain again. Can't wait for that day.
We're approaching Wellington and we're about to get the Wellington ferry.
Because we're on a boat, does it mean that Dave has to skate up and down till we get there?
Flying somewhere in the night. Every minute or something all day brings a different light. All the things you think you know, you need to be weighed up before you put them on.
The road we're on at the moment, heading south towards Meningie, Kingston, and ultimately Mount Gambier, where we'll hit just before we cross over into Victoria. In about 100 metres, I pass the 45-kilometre to Kingston sign, which doubles up is our 3,000 kilometre mark, halfway to Brisbane.
And so much has happened, good and bad, in the last 3,000. think that we've got all of that to go again is absolutely amazing.
Well done, Dave!
We'll be into our third state today. It'll be Victoria.
There's lots and lots of milestones in this journey. You've got the 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, but crossing a new border, it's a whole different group of people, whole different set of scenery, so it's quite exciting. So much has happened to us in this state, and it's, you know, it's a little bit sad to be leaving. It was the first time we changed the wheels on the border with WA and SA. And then there was the Wales, then there was the Oyster Fest in Seduna, there was Port Augusta, and then there was Adelaide and everything that happened there. So it's been quite an exciting state.
We met a lot of good people who have helped us along the way, and I hope that continues in Victoria.